Dice Tower Tonight, episode 18, The Spiel Deal. Welcome to Dice Tower Tonight, a video cast about board games and card games, and especially the people who play them. On tonight's show, Tom is away at Geekway to the West, and a storm has taken out Eric's power and internet, so it is now officially ladies' night, as Mandi and Ambie are joining me for tonight's show. We'll discuss a few games we've played recently, as well as the Spiel des Jahres nominees that were announced earlier this week. I will also be challenging the gals to a guessing game, and then we'll take your questions live. I'm Crystal Bazzano, and joining me now, the Burnham and Giorgio to my Tilly, Mandi Hutchinson and Ambie Valdez.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
So I'm sure there's probably a lot of people in the chat who are like, wait, what?
Yeah.
This is not the Dice Tower Tonight.
There's no Tom. There's no Eric. There's just...
It's mayhem.
Stuffs.
Yeah, it's so we're here, and hopefully things are going to go okay. I did not have as much time to prep for completely running this show as I would have potentially liked, but I think we've got some good stuff planned. So, Ambie and Mandi, how are you all doing today?
I'm good. It's been busy. Like, I just got back from CMON not too long ago, so I'm still unpacking and going through my luggage and everything. Work is crazy, but as you can see behind me, there's a lot of games happening. That's just a small snippet of what's in my pile.
I see herbaceous sprouts back there.
Yes.
Oh, Mandi, I am so jealous of you right now.
We did get a chance to play it, so we'll be talking about it on the podcast what we thought about it. But I'd like to get a couple more plays in before I do that.
Okay. Well, I will just state categorically that I'm jelly.
Okay.
Ambie, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Just got home from work.
I know, thank you. Ambie actually left work early to rush home to be on this. So everybody give Ambie some props. It was very nice of her to do.
Yeah, luckily I didn't have too much to do at work. It got a little busy, but nothing due today. So
anytime I have to leave work early, it seems like literally 5 minutes before I'm supposed to leave, somebody will come over to my desk and be like, oh, hey, can you just do this thing for me real quick? I'm like, ugh.
Always.
Yeah. So, Mandi, what have you been playing recently?
Oh my goodness, what haven't I been playing? Let me just do a little reach over here. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'll pick one. Oh, decisions. Okay. I picked, oh my gosh, my light's super bright. Could you see this? Sabordage.
Oh, yeah. Sabordage.
Yeah, so this is by Renegade Games. And this game is on the lighter side. It's super fun. Honestly, I didn't think that I was going to like it because I usually like to play kind of heavier Euro type games. I mean, I'll play anything, but this one's about pirates, which is, I'm going to be honest, one of my least favorite themes in a game.
I'm with you on that. Pirates are not my jam generally.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, but you know what? I just took it for what it was. Let's give it a go. So in this game, basically the goal of the game is to try and get the longest ship in the game. And you do so by adding these little placards into your ship. So it's kind of like a drafting Sushi Go, Seven Wonders sort of deal where everyone has tiles. Pick one, pass around, pick one, pass around, and you place them in your ship. But some of the tiles that you're placing have cannons, different types of cannons. So when it comes time to resolve them, you can actually attack out one of your competitor ships. And what's really cool is if you're on the end and your cannon's facing this way, you think, oh, I'm not going to hit the ship. Try again. It comes around and hits the ship on the
okay.
So unless there's something that prevents that from happening, so you can have things that cancel it out, but they have these little fuse tokens that let you know if it's gonna, hit once, it's gonna hit twice, and this happens. I think it's over 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. And you have these little figures which have numbers. So basically, before you place these tiles, you have to put in your little figures where you're gonna place it in here. So you could potentially be placing it in a spot where it doesn't get attacked. You're great, but someone reveals and then all of a sudden you're all placing in the same spot and you could be destroying each other's tiles. So in the end, basically, it's whoever has the longest ship wins the game. So it's really straightforward, super easy to play. It was, for what it is, I thought it was fun. I did have a bit of issues with the components, but overall, I had a good time.
Okay. It's funny. I've said it 100 times on our own podcast, but like Renegade can kind of do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. So I guess even if it's a theme I'm not keen on, if they're publishing it, I should probably just try it.
It's true. They're on fire these days.
They've got a really good eye for games to pick up, and there's no rhyme or reason, it seems. They just like, other than the fact that they're good games.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
All right, Ambie, what have you been playing recently?
I actually had a couple game nights over the weekend, so I got to play games. Unlike
game night.
Last month where I didn't play anything, but
You went to Japan, you have an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So one of the newer games I played was Magic Maze Maximum Security, which is the expansion to Magic Maze. Magic Maze is a real-time cooperative game where you're moving these pawns around a mall and you're trying to get to these places to steal treasures and then get them out. But you move all of the characters, but each player can only move one direction. So like I can move things right, Crystal can move things left, and Manny can move things north. And so also you can't talk to each other. So you're all frantically trying to figure out what everyone else is thinking and how to move your pawns to get where you want them to go. So that's the base game, Magic Maze. And then Magic Maze Maximum Security adds a bunch of modules. So I only played a couple of the scenarios. Each scenario adds a new thing. And so one of the things that was cool was it adds police pawns, which which you can also move. Like players get to choose where to move them, but you can't be on the same tile as a police pawn. So it adds interesting things because different people can interpret the best route to a place differently depending on if they want to move the police pawn or not. So you might be wanting to go through the tile or around the tile. And yeah, so that was fun. There's also, we didn't play with this because it's in the later scenarios. There's also this beholder token that's this very big monster with eyes and tentacles, but it takes up 4 spaces, and I think it also blocks things, and you can only move it by moving your pawn onto a beholder movement tile. So that sounds really difficult. But yeah, it was fun. Magic Maze, and the expansion is Maximum Security.
Maximum Security. Oh, I'm gonna have to try that. Like my coworkers cannot get past the no talking thing, and then they get really angry if someone takes the little marker and starts banging it. Like, come on, you should know this. And they're like, stop banging. I'm like, stop talking. And then it just gets crazy. Anyway, so this sounds like it could just be complete chaos, which I love.
Yes, even more.
I cheat every time I play that silly game, and like not intentionally, but it's, I mean, surprising no one, it's really hard for me to not talk for any length of time. So yeah, you put me in a game where I'm not allowed to speak, and I eventually am just like making noises, and it's just awkward. And yeah, it's weird. Nobody likes it. I mean, it's fun, but whatever. So as an update to last episode of Dice Tower Tonight, I did receive Cavern Tavern in the mail, but I just got it a couple days ago and haven't had a game night yet. So my game group here in Vegas might be playing this with me tomorrow if I can trick them into it. But, or, you know, something nicer than that. I don't know. Tom said it was okay, so I don't think it'll be too bad.
Oh, have you not played it? I've played it. I did a review on it on my other channel. It's not bad. I did find it went a little long.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, then we'll give it a shot and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So for I did play it game. I'm going to do the same thing as Ambie and go with an expansion. So I recently got the role player expansion, Monsters and Minions. And this box is empty because all of the components are in my normal role player box. So I'm going to open it up, but it all fits. It's a little bit like, if you look kind of, you can see it's a kind of a little bit pushing on the edge there, but not like significantly so. So that's always nice when the expansion will fit in the base game box. I did take out the insert that came with the base game, and I actually used the insert that came with the expansion in the base game's box.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that worked out well. But in Monsters and Minions, so if for those of you who aren't familiar with Role Player is a dice allocation game where they gamify the experience of creating a role-playing character. So you have a board and you are putting dice onto the board to try and make up the stats for your character. And you'll have a class card and a backstory card and an alignment card. And all of those are drawn at random at the beginning of the game. And they'll determine what kinds of stats your character needs and what colors of dice you need to put in specific locations and all of that. And there's dice drafting. And there's a market where you can buy item cards and spells and skills and things like that. So then in the expansion, the Monsters and Minions expansion, it adds a minion deck, which has a bunch of minions that you can fight instead of going to the market each round. So you can either choose to go to the market and buy an item or to fight a minion. By fighting minions, you gain some secret information. There's 3 pieces of secret information in each game. And all of that information is stuff that will help you fight the beast at the end of the game. So there's, I think, 6 total beasts that come in the expansion, and you only choose 1 for each game. And then they have specific things that will help you fight them, basically. And so when you fight minions, you gain information, fight the beast, get extra victory points for all of the above, just like everything else in Role Player. I love Role Player a lot. The expansion kind of waters down the game. So it's not bad. Nothing that it adds is actually, like, it's all fun and it's all enjoyable, but it gave me the experience that I've gotten in some other games with expansions where you have these new things to do and you have to choose between the new thing or the old thing. And since you don't get to do both, you kind of never get to do enough of what you want, but not in a good way. So other people are going to the market and buying items, and somebody else is fighting minions, and there aren't enough rounds to make it feel like you got to do enough of anything, and it feels like you have to focus on one or the other. Because if you start fighting minions and then move back to the market, but you didn't gain all the information that will help you fight the beast, then I don't know. It's possible we played something wrong also, but I think I had it right. And again, it's fun. If you are somebody who maybe if you liked Role Player, but it kind of was getting stale for you, I think that this is a great expansion because it adds a lot of new content to the decks and other things like that. But if you love Role Player just as it is, like, and you'll play it all day, every day, I don't necessarily think you need to own this expansion, because while it does add new things, there was nothing in it that was just like, wow, this is amazing. And honestly, the original game was like that for me.
Right.
So I was going to see if I could grab the beast cards. I don't know where they are, though. This is what I get for
I really liked it.
Yeah. You like this one?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I had only played the original Role Player one time, and I see Nicole's in the chat. She's the one who taught it to me.
Oh, yay!
So hi, Nicole. But I had only played it the one time, and then I played the expansion because I backed the whole thing. And I liked the fact that you could fight the minions, because I would often go to the market and I'm like, oh, there's nothing here for me that I want, or that was working with what I had going on. So that was a nice kind of, it's a different option that I really liked. Now, to be fair, it's something I would need to play a few more times to see if it's kind of doing what you were saying. And I could see that. So for me, I just don't have enough plays in to kind of give a final decision, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I haven't played with the expansion enough to know for sure. And like I said, I do enjoy it. I'm not going to kick it out of my box and never use it ever again. Although that's really, you get out of here, expansion. Hit the road. But yeah, I just, like, there were times when I'm like, I know that this other person is collecting a set of this specific type of armor from the market. And in a normal game, I could either, draft that item before them or discard it to earn gold. And it was an easy decision. But now I'm like, wait, do I want to go fight a minion and let them get that armor? Like, is it one of those things where we both get something good, but is their good thing better than my good thing? So
Right. Yeah.
It's fun. I liked it a lot. I'm excited to play it more. And one of my friends from my local game group in Vegas is also in the chat. So she has now heard me say that I'm bringing Cavern Tavern, apparently.
See, it's all set up, ready to go.
Perfect. All right. So that's some stuff that we've been playing recently. We can move on to our main discussion, which is the Spiel des Jahres nominees that got announced this week. So I think we'll probably just focus this on the main Spiel award, but if we want to mention the Kenner Spiel or Kinder Spiel, we can do that too. So for those of you out there who have not heard the games that got nominated this year, they are Azul, which is designed by Michael Kiesling from Next Move Games, Plan B Games in the United States, but since the award's in Germany, Luxor, which is designed by Rudiger Dorn, and it is from Queen Games, and The Mind, which is by Wolfgang Warsch, and it is published by NSV, but it will be published in the States by Pandasaurus later this year.
Right.
Yep.
So those are the 3 games that got nominated. Ladies, do you have any thoughts?
As soon as Azul came out, I was like, oh, this is gonna get nominated. Like right away, I knew. I love Azul. Like love, love, love. Love it at 2 players. Gets a little nasty, but I do enjoy it. The Mind, I played it a lot at the Gathering. I really enjoyed it, but and I kind of agree with Tom. I never thought I'd say that, but to a certain degree.
Hopefully he won't watch this. We don't want him to know things like that.
The Mind is fun. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it does seem more of like an activity than a game. I'm not saying that's a bad thing necessarily. I love it and I think it's really fun, but I just feel like Azul may have that lasting factor. I don't know. I think for me, I haven't played Luxor because I don't think it's available.
So yeah,
I haven't played Luxor.
Yeah, Luxor is not available in the States, and I imagine then not in Canada as well. I don't think it's hit North America at all. Although most Queen games do tend to come over here at some point.
Right.
I've heard good things from people online who have played it, but yeah, I haven't seen a copy over here yet, so I can't speak to that one either.
Yeah. So I think great choices. I mean, with the exception of Luxor, I don't know how it plays. I've heard great things, but I personally think that Azul will take it.
And I've played Azul in the Mind. I think the Mind will win.
Upset.
Yeah, when we first played the Mind, we had the same feeling like, oh, this is gonna win Game of the Year. But I like Azul too.
So I'm torn because like you, Mandy, when I first played Azul, I told a bunch of people, I was like, this is going to win the Spiel, not just to be nominated. I was like, unless something crazy awesome comes out after this that I don't know about yet, Azul's going to win.
Exactly.
And I still think that's true. Especially there's 2 factors that I think play into this though, in both directions. So for Azul, the scoring in the midst of the game is a little bit fiddly. And I know that for the main Spiel award, they're looking for things that are very accessible to just about any range of gamers. And I think Azul is, but that fiddliness in the scoring and it's kind of difficult to explain to people how it scores in the middle of everything. Yeah. I think that could theoretically hinder it. But
that and that it's cutthroat. That could hinder the family game of it.
Yeah. Whereas though the Mind, again, there is the whole argument, like how much of a game is it? I do love it, for the record. I just ordered a copy from Amazon.de this week along with a bunch of other games. I know. Oh, I'm so excited. I got, what else did I get? I got one of the Kinderspiel nominated games, which is Ganz schon clever.
Amazing. I love it.
I'm very excited to try that. I got Würfel Bonanza. I got Kribbeln, which is a roll and write game that I've tried before. And I got one other, Knockmall, which I'd heard good things about too.
It's good.
But yeah, so for the Mind though, to me, I'm kind of wondering, like the same publisher got nominated a couple of years ago for the game and didn't win. So I'm wondering if it's one of those things that like, oh, they're going to recognize it with the nomination, but it's not quite enough to win the award. Or conversely, if they've been nominated before, they're going to nominate it again, and now maybe they're due. So I could see the Mind winning it.
In the nomination letter or whatever, they said they don't look at the publisher or the designer when they're considering it, just the gameplay. So if that's true, then
I mean, but they like, I have to imagine that the people both nominating and voting on the awards know that information regardless of whether they say they're considering it. I'm not trying to impugn the Spiel committee, as it were. I don't know what their process is, but
but still, I think the Mind is a game, and I don't really understand why people say it's not. Like, if it's not a game, then is like all cooperative games not a game, because it still has you win as a team or you lose as a team. It's the same thing.
I think the lack of mechanisms would be the reason most people would point to, because there are almost no mechanisms in that game. So I think that would be...
It's based on like when I'm watching people play it, it's like it's a feeling. It's a, do you know what I mean? You can feel it's more of like building the tension, like exactly kind of what you were saying. There's no like set mechanism. It's technically still a game, but I categorize it as a game that's more of an activity.
Yeah, like Hacky Sack, also a game, maybe not deserving of an award. Oh wait, you know what? I'm probably gonna have like professional hacky sackers.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming after me. I take it all back, hacky sackers, if that's a thing. I shouldn't say anything like that. I'm doing Tom's role literally. Like I'm putting my foot in my mouth all over the place. Oh,
But
God.
I think if it has like a set of rules that people have to follow, then it's more in the game category.
Yeah, and trust me, and I've had this. It's funny. I've had this discussion with people, and at first I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's a game," and then the more I play it, I'm like, "Yeah, I feel it's an activity. It's still a game. At the end of the day, it's a game."
I mean,
period.
games are activities, so
It's true, but I just when I play it with people, it's just one of those games that I feel it's based on feeling more than anything. Do you know what I mean? And kind of reading people. And don't get me wrong, there are games that are just based on that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I find it, maybe I think of it's an activity because I love watching my friends play it and watch them sweat and get all nervous and go all crazy while they're playing their cards. So it's an activity in the sense that I get to see them sweat it out a little bit. But I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I'm better at not speaking in that game than I am in Magic Maze. Although still cheat a little bit with the making of noises occasionally because I get very excited about things. So aside from the games that were formally nominated, the Spiel committee also gives recommendations in each category for other games that they want to kind of give a shout out to. So for the Spiel Award, the recommendation list included 5-Minute Dungeon, Face Cards, Majesty for the Realm, Memoir. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's got a lot of R's.
Memoir.
Yeah, that's it. Santorini and Woodlands. And of those, I've only played 5-Minute Dungeon and Majesty for... Oh, no, I've played 3 of them. Majesty for the Realm and Santorini. So...
Okay, yeah, I've only played Santorini, and as you saw, I have Memoir, and I think that's it.
Okay. Majesty for the Realm is pretty awesome. And that's coming from somebody who needs good theme in game, and the theme in that one is boring as all heck. But that's a real good game. I was quite surprised because when my friend Greg brought it out, I was like, oh, fine, I'll play it. And then I really liked it. So this is a lesson to all of you. Don't judge a game by its cover all the time.
Oh, yeah, exactly. ...
Maybe sometimes it's okay. I don't know. Some games, really, you can look at them and just be like, so I guess we could quickly go over the other categories just briefly. So for the Kinderspiel, the nominated games, I mentioned one earlier that was Ganz Schon Clever, which is designed by Wolfgang Warsch, his second nominated game of the year, published by Schmidt Spiele. Heaven and Ale, designed by Michael Kiesling, also his second nomination of the year. And Andreas Schmidt, and that's from Eggert Spiel. And then, pronunciation time, Die Quacksalber von Quedlinburg.
I saw that one on Amazon.de.
Oh, man. And that's also by Wolfgang Warsch, his third nomination of the year, from Schmidt Spiele. You know, I took 2 years of German in high school, and I feel like it's not kicking in right now.
If it were French, I could help you out, but I'm not so good with the German.
Yeah. So I have not played any of those. Have you all played?
Yeah, I've played Heaven and Ale. Actually, I did a playthrough on the
you did.
Or it was scheduled. I don't know if we got a chance to do it. We had some situations with our filming space, but no, I think we still have to film it. But yeah, Heaven and Ale played. We've definitely talked about it on the podcast. There's something else you mentioned. What was the others?
Ganz Schon Clever.
Yeah, which I've played. Nicole actually taught me that as well. And the other one that was the longer name.
Quacksalber von Quedlinburg.
I saw it on Amazon.de. Yeah, I haven't played it. I was going to order it just because I'm like, oh, it sounds interesting, but they didn't ship to Canada.
Boo.
So, but Heaven and Ale, oh, that has my vote. I mean, I love Ganz Schon Clever, but Heaven and Ale that's it, hands down for me.
Okay. So then for the Kinderspiel, I'm imagining we probably haven't played any of these, but just for the sake of people listening, the nominated games are Emojito by Urtis Salinkas from Hush. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Funkelschatz, a.k.a. Dragon's Breath, should have just said that from the get-go, by Lena and Gunther Burkhardt from Haba Games. Hey, I've heard of that. And Panic Mansion, a.k.a. Shaky Manor. Those are both in English, so I'm not quite sure why there's an a.k.a., but hey, you know. And that's by Asger Harding Granjord and Daniel Skold Peterson from Blue Orange Games.
Okay. And no, I have not played any of those.
I almost played Panic Mansion because I saw it at BGG Con in the library, and it looked cool, but then I ended up playing something else.
Oh, we were so close.
Yeah, I was close.
Oh, gosh. All right. So obviously, I'm sure you guys in the chat have a lot of thoughts about the Spiel nominees. We've seen some of that going through there. I did see a comment from someone that asked why everyone disses Queen Games Kickstarters. And I'm going to be delicate about this, but I am definitely the right person to ask because I've been burned.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, so here's the deal. Queen Games, I think in the past, and I'm not going to speak about them currently because my experiences with them were in the past, but they're not always great, or they haven't always been great with communication regarding their Kickstarters. Right. And I think that's kind of like one of the first, sins of Kickstarter is not communicating when there are issues. And they've had a lot of projects that have been delayed way longer than would seem necessary for an established publisher. But again, we don't know the behind the scenes stuff. But again, communication would have helped potentially with that. Sure. And then for the one that I backed most recently from them, I love the game Kingdom Builder. And I had missed out on their first big box that they sent out with the Marshlands expansion, but then they did another Kickstarter for Harvest. So what I did is I backed for just the Harvest expansion and the big box that would hold everything because I already owned all the other expansions that I had purchased separately. And when they screwed up the Kickstarter so bad, they then said, well, we're sending everybody that backed at this level or above a free big box with all of the expansions in it. And you'd think, yay, that's a good thing. But I was kind of like, I paid for most of that already. And now you're giving all of that to the people who paid like a lot less money than I did. And I'm confused now. So,
oh no.
Yeah. Like, so I got a whole new big box with all the expansions, but I already owned 5 out of the 6 of them.
Right.
So it wasn't like they gave me any extra value really. And I guess I could sell off my old stuff, but it's weird to kind of sell it out piecemeal because I can't put it all in one big box because I have one big box. So yeah, Queen Games has, and I think a lot of their Kickstarters have kind of gone similarly. Lack of communication, delayed shipping, that kind of stuff. And so I think that's why a lot of people say negative things about them online. But who knows? Maybe now they've got their stuff together. I can't speak to them currently.
Sure.
So.
I've heard similar stories from other people. I know they seem to have a different, and I want to say reputation, but they're viewed differently in North America as well than they are in Europe. And that came up when I was at Essen and chatting with a few people. And the way they're viewed in Europe is very, very different. And I don't know if they just haven't had the same potential issues with Kickstarters. I personally have not had any issues, but I found that interesting. I found that very interesting.
Definitely. I mean, and they're based in Europe. And obviously, I think they're even a little more well-known. Although they've had a couple of games win the Kenner or the Spiel in the past. So I think they've got a decent amount of notoriety in the States now. So
right.
All right. I'm going to look through the chat and see if there's anything else. Some people commenting about Gons Shown Clever. Very excited people wanting to play it. Our friend Robert Geislinger is in the chat.
Hi, Robert.
Yeah.
Did he talk about Rajas?
I don't know. He said he's still bitter about Merlin being out of place in his Feld collection.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I missed context.
Yeah, he said he's sad Rajas didn't get nominated.
He did? I knew. He loves that game. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And actually, it's funny. I loved it. Suzanne was like, we still need to talk about that one on the podcast, but I liked it.
All right. Yeah, he just said, yes, he talked about Rajas. I'm sorry, Robert, I didn't scroll up far enough. I don't know how Tom manages to keep track of the chat, for the record.
It's a lot.
Real good at it. And I guess people are saying that they're bummed Sagrada couldn't be nominated, and I guess it is going to be released in July in Germany. So that's the word in the chat, at least. So maybe next year. Who knows? I love Sagrada. So
yeah, it's a really good one. I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, I'm going to pull a Tom and I'm going to make you play a game. How does that sound?
Oh, dear. This is going to be bad.
No, it's going to be fun. I promise. So what I have done in the style of the stuff Tom usually does is I went through the Board Game Geek rankings. And since you all, both of you, I know, happen to like heavier games. Mm-hmm. I know you also play other stuff, obviously, but I'd say the two of you are probably two of the people I know that like heavy games the most. So I took the user determined weight of games, meaning on a scale from 1 being the lightest of light games, 5 being the heaviest. And I narrowed it down to games that are just rated between a 4 and a 5 for weight. So real heavy, as far as Board Game Geek users are concerned. I want you all to name games that are in BGG's top 250 games that are 4 or higher weight-wise, and that is determined by BGG users. So, but the trick is I'm going to give you 1 point for any game you can name that's in the top 100, and 2 points for any game that you can name in between 101 and 250.
Ooh, so not
so the ones that are going to be the easiest theoretically are worth less points.
Of course.
Also, duplicates are 1 entry, and you'll probably figure out what that means.
Oh my goodness, Ambie's gonna kick my butt.
Well, it's hard. I don't know what's above 4. Like,
well, this is it. I can think of things that are like 3.7, but
I don't actually look at weight that often too. So
this is it. I just play it.
No cheating. Don't click over to BGG.
I closed the chat because I didn't want to pee.
Yeah, I closed the chat too.
Okay, so Mandy, I'm gonna let you go first. So give me a game, and I will tell you if I won't know what the weights are. I didn't even write them down. I just made a list. So.
Okay. Okay, I've got a couple here, but I want to come out with a good showing. It's one of my favorites. I actually don't think it's a 4. I think it's under a 4, but I'm going to say it anyway. Food Chain Magnate.
Food Chain Magnate is on the list. It is rated higher than a 4, and it is number 28 in Board Game Geek's rankings.
Wow.
So that will give you 1 point, Mandy.
Woo-hoo.
All right, Ambie, it is your turn to guess. And we're going to guess until it makes sense not to. I don't have a term.
Until we embarrass ourselves.
That's what Tom usually does to us. Like, once Eric and I are sitting here going like, I don't know.
All right. I'm going to go with a game that I'm pretty sure I know the weight because I'd seen it before. I think it's 4.2. So Kanban, Automotive Revolution.
Just barely making the list at 221 on Board Game Geek's rankings is Kanban.
One of my personal favorites. Very awesome.
So it is the last one on the list. Nothing higher than 221 ended up on this. I know. So and I should have said that there's a total of 19 games that can be
that's
guessed.
it?
So yeah, only 19.
Whew.
I know.
Okay.
2 points for Ambie.
Oh, nicely done. Oh, I'm sweating.
This is what happens to me every week, and it's weird to do it to other people.
I feel like I'm gonna fail and let people down. So
no, you are not. You could never, Mandy. That's the real truth here. So basically, just name a game that's popular that is also very heavy. And
okay. Okay, so my next one is, again, I have 2 happening here. I'm gonna go with Arkwright.
Arkwright is not on the list.
I knew it. It's close, but not quite.
I don't know if it's because it's not in the top 250 or it's not 4 or higher. So, but it is not on the list. And so also I'm going to give the same disclosure that Tom usually does. My list is printed out and it is what it is. And if it's wrong, I'm sorry, but I looked on BGG and I tried. So
it was a shot in the dark. I kind of suspected as much.
Okay. So Ambie, do you have another guess?
I'm going to try Through the Ages. That's in the top 10. So
Through the Ages coming in at number 3 and number 26 in the Board Game Geek rankings, but it counts only 1 time because it is a duplicate mostly. So yes, that does count, Ambie. So 1 point for you.
All right. I've never played this game. I really want to play this game. I really hope it's on the list. Twilight Imperium.
Twilight Imperium is definitely on the list.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was over 4.
Me too. That's what I was thinking.
Both TI3 and TI4 show up as rated higher than 4 in weight and on the BGG rankings as number 36 and 49, respectively. So that is 1 point for you, Mandy.
Yay! I redeemed myself.
And those are the only duplicates that I was mentioning were those 2. So now everything else is generally, at least as far as I know,
those are the ones I was thinking of too.
Okay.
I'll try Mage Knight.
Mage Knight is on the list.
Yay!
I kind of smiled and spoiled that one. So yes.
Well, you could be smiling that it's not on the list. So I don't know.
I'm not that evil. So Maze Night is number 18 in Board Game Geek's rankings. So that will get you 1 point, Ambie.
Very nice.
All right, Mandy.
Oh my goodness. I have a little, like, I'm writing them down and I'm like, I know they're close to 4, but I don't know if they're in the top. I feel like, okay, I'm going to throw this out here. I don't think it's a 4, but Eric will love me anyway. Merchant of Venus.
I don't know whether it's not in the top 250 or not a 4, but it's not on the list.
No, okay, but that's okay. That was for Eric. So
Although, what's funny is so before you all were my co-hosts, I was trying to plan a game for Eric, and I hadn't fleshed it all out completely, but I was going to do something with the highest ranked roll and move games on Board Game Geek, and Merchant of Venus is in that list.
Darn it!
I was gonna do that, but and it was funny. Yeah, I don't remember. Like, I think Zaya was actually the highest rated game with the roll and move mechanic attached to it.
Yeah.
So, if that one would have been really hard though as a category for the record. All right, Ambie, do you have another guess for me?
I'm not sure if this is a 4. Waiting, but I'll try Twilight Struggle.
Oh, that was gonna be my next one.
Twilight Struggle.
I feel like it might be less though.
Not on the list.
Oh,
okay.
So it's either not a 4. I think it's definitely in the top 250. So it's not a 4, basically, is what that means.
I was thinking it might not be a 4.
Yeah, that's a good guess though.
All right, Mandy.
Gosh, I'm striking out here, and I have the 2 in front of me, and I'm
like, there's at least like 3 or 4 games that are on this list that I know the 2 of you would like. Either you've played them or you definitely would. So
okay, I'm picturing my shelf in front of my, and I'm like, okay, this is the heavy section. I don't know if it's a 4, but it's definitely a crunchier game. But Lisboa.
At number 126, Lisboa.
Oh, Lisboa.
So since that is lower than 100, that's 2 points for you, Mandy.
Woo!
Oh, we're tied now, 4 and 4. So we definitely have to keep going.
No ties and no sharing the victory.
I guess I'll just go with Vital then. I'll try Vinos.
Oh, that's a good one.
Vinos.
I don't know what the ranks of that is.
It's 190 on Board Game Geek's rankings, and it is rated 4 or higher. So that is 2 points for you, Ambie.
Very nice.
I know. I think I was hoping I would be like, I know these games are games y'all want to play. So
absolutely. Oh my goodness. Well, Splotter is never a bad thing to go with. But I think I remember looking this up, and this one I don't think was quite a 4. I think it was a bit lighter, but I'm going to say it anyway. Indonesia. Indonesia
is number 189, and it is higher than a 4. That's another 2 points, Mandy. See, you always thought you were going to be bad at this, and you're super awesome.
I guess we're doing not too bad.
Yeah. When I picked this category, I really hoped that it would be something you guys would be good at. So. Oh, and in the chat, Mandy, someone has commented on your pin if you want to show that off.
Oh, yeah. So this was bought for me. I was at Ottawa Comic Con, and my friend, I don't even know if you can see it.
So funny.
And it's supposed to glow in the dark. I haven't tested that out yet, but.
In the dark? Like, that sounds like a hazard.
I know. Just some fun novelty, I guess. Who knows?
Oh, gosh. Okay, Ambie, it is your turn to guess.
I'm not sure if this is a 4 or in the top 250, so Great Zimbabwe?
Criteria. Sorry, I missed your
The
answer.
Great Zimbabwe?
Oh, that's a good one.
Zimbabwe is not on the list.
Really?
I don't
know. It might be lighter or not.
Yeah, I wasn't sure with that one and Indonesia. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember which was the lighter. Still a good guess, though.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. All right, Mandy, what you got for me?
I know this is one that Eric really likes. Antiquity?
That was my other guess, too.
Mm-hmm.
Number 210.
Oh, just pulling it in.
Yeah. 2 more points for Mandy.
Woo!
All right, so Ambie has 6. Mandy has 8 currently, assuming I'm keeping track properly.
We trust you. We trust you.
Don't. That's a mistake all over the place. Me trying to do multiple things at the same time. Ask anyone in my board game group. It does not go well. All right, so Mandy, you guessed first. So Ambie, I'm going to give you 2 more guesses, and Mandy, I'll give you 1 more guess.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there. So Ambie, what you got?
Already did that. I'll just go back to Vital. I don't know if this is a 4 because this seems lighter, but the Gallerist.
The Gallerist is number 68.
Nice.
Oh.
That was actually going to be a guess of mine, so that's perfect.
All right, so that's 1 more point for Ambie. So Ambie now has 7 to Mandy's 8. It's very close.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Mandy, this is your last guess. What you got for me?
I have 2 here, and I know 1 is not a 4, but the terminology in this game is so confusing and hard to learn. But once you get it, it's totally fine. Oh my gosh. And then the other one I've done a playthrough of it.
And that's what's tough because you don't like it's not really how the weight of the actual game. It's what Board Game Geek users have said the weight of a game is.
Exactly, because I'm looking at 2 games here that are not hard at all to play. Like the terminology is hard to learn and grasp, but the game itself is pretty straightforward. I know it's not a 4, but my brain is stuck. It's between 3 games here. I'm gonna go with. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm sorry. I hate these decisions. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, and then after Ambie goes, I'm gonna tell you which ones I had.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go
you
with.
can't tell me which ones you had before I go.
No. I'm gonna say Too Many Bones.
Too Many Bones is not on the list.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
So Ambie, okay, you're 1 point behind Ambie, so you can tie with a guess in the top 100 and win with a guess in the 101 to 250 range. Calm down.
I don't know. I guess. I don't know. This is tough.
Pressure. All of a sudden, I just wanted to start singing David Bowie and Queen. I'm so sorry.
Oh gosh, yeah, man, YouTube in there, you can't have the copyrighted music thing, and
yeah.
We're doing karaoke at Dice Tower Con, by the way. I think.
Oh, and you know why that's happening because we always go. So.
Okay, I'm just gonna guess Agricola.
Agricola is not on the list. So that means Mandy is our winner.
Yay, I never win a game.
Yay. What else is on the list?
Okay, so I'm gonna go through the whole. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. We want to see Mandy's guesses first.
Okay, so I had Tricerion. I bet you it's on the list.
It is on the list.
And I had Apocrypha.
Not on the list.
Okay, so I should have gotten Tricerion.
Yep. Okay, so I'll go through all of them, including the ones you guessed. So 3 and 26 was Through the Ages. Ranked number 13 is Gaia Project.
Oh, ranked
number 14. Number 14 is one that I know Ambie has played. It's War of the Ring.
Oh, I haven't played that. 18
was Mage Knight. 28 was Food Chain Magnate. At number 32, and this one surprised me a little bit, Kingdom Death Monster.
Oh.
I didn't know that was considered that heavy of a game.
Neither did I.
But who knows?
I haven't played it.
You know what? No. Maybe it's just because of how actually heavy.
Physically heavy?
Right.
Like physically heavy.
But then Gloomhaven.
Oh yeah, Gloomhaven would be included.
I'm going to be so mad if Firefly's on the list because I love Firefly.
So at number 36 and then 49 was Twilight Imperium 3rd and 4th edition. At number 53, Dominant Species.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You guys got the Gallerist at 68, Lisboa at 126, and then at 167, Ambie. 1830, Railways and Robber Baron.
Oh, I didn't think it was in the top 250.
It is 167. I know. Wow. I was like, there's an 18XX in here. So.
That's awesome.
I guess Exploder was on there.
Yeah. So number 168 is a game I'm actually not familiar with at all. It is called Here I Stand.
I've heard of it. I've not
heard of it, yeah.
Okay. Number 178, Tricerion, which you said after the fact, Mandy. Number 187, D-Mocker.
Oh,
yeah, I should have remembered that too.
Yeah,
and then you guys got Indonesia at 189. You got Vinhos at 190. No, the only one you're missing was number 205, which was Advanced Squad Leader.
I have not played that.
I haven't played that either.
Someone in the chat did mention it at some point. So, and it was funny because they asked, has anybody said ASL? And I was like, that's not appropriate. Oh, wait, that's not. Yep, we're going back to the old school AOL chat room days. Good old ASL. All right, well, thank you all for being good sports and playing that with me.
No, it was so much fun, and I'm actually a little disappointed in myself that I didn't remember more.
No, you guys did so good. You did way better than Eric and I ever do in our
Aw.
You all are the best. All right, so we are going to open it up for some questions. So if anyone in the chat has questions for Mandi, Ambie, or myself about the Dice Tower, we can probably lie to you about the behind-the-scenes stuff there because we don't know as much.
Just make up answers.
Yeah, we could just pretend. Mandi can talk about To Die For Games, which is her channel, and all the cool stuff she does over there. Ambie and I can talk about Board Game Blitz, which is our show. So feel free to ask us whatever you want. I am probably going to miss questions because, again, I'm bad at keeping up with the chat, but I'm going to do my best. Oh, that's an easy one.
Yes.
Who's going to Dice Tower Con? And I believe the answer is all of us. Yeah. So all of us will be at Dice Tower Con, and I think it's going to probably be a pretty cool year. I think a lot of the Dice Tower contributors are going to be there.
Yeah.
So I went last year for the first time, and I was like, oh, Florida, on the other side of the country. Probably can't make that trip every year because that's, expensive and far. And then I went.
The first time I went.
Oh, yeah.
Like
but
5
it's
years
so
ago.
good. I know. See, Tom does this on every episode. He's like, sign up for the Dice Tower Con. Sign up now. There's only so many tickets left. You should just do it. And he sounds like he's selling it just to sell it. But honestly,
But
as someone who has no financial stake in that event, it's so good.
No, it is. It's actually one of my favorites.
And everyone is really friendly. Even though there's like 3,000 people, like you can sit down and play with just about anyone. And it's, especially if you want to play with Dice Tower contributors, they're everywhere. So like, it was funny. I told Roy Canada last year, like I was kind of following him around for a while and playing games with him. And I felt bad about it, but I was just like, I know he likes the same types of games I do. And he's a little bit, crazy and frantic. And I was like, whatever he's hopping into, I want part of. Like, I know I'm going to like that game. So.
Exactly. Well, I'm hoping Ambie, and we had a little chat about this in our little Slack chat there, can teach me my first 18xx game. I've never played any ever. So I'm really excited to, for that to happen.
Yeah, we'll be bringing 1889, and my husband's a good teacher, so he can teach
I will vouch. Toby is really, really good at teaching 18xx games. I won my very first and only 18xx game, and the only reason I won is because Toby was very kind in helping me throughout the whole thing.
Good, because I will need that.
Yeah, he didn't play it for me, but I basically I'd narrow my decisions down to like a couple, and I'd be like, I'm not sure what to do now. So he was very, very kind.
Right.
All right, so we've got, let's see, some other questions.
They asked about Essen.
So I will not be at Essen this year unless something magically crazy happens between now and then.
I will be there.
Yay!
Yeah, with the rest of the group. And I know I've had some people ask me to meet up and stuff. And I mean, we're there the whole time. We'll be at the booth, so come see me. And potentially Suzanne and I be moderating a panel. So
that's really neat.
Yeah, so we're still waiting to hear back, but I think it's going to be some really amazing, talented people. So stay tuned for more information on that.
Very, very cool. Yeah, Essen is so far for Ambie and I, like being on the west coast of the US. That is a lot of flying.
That is true for you guys.
Somebody asked you, Ambie, if you were going to Origins.
I am not. Just Dice Tower Con and BGG Con for me.
Okay.
Ditto for me. Dice Tower Con and BGG Con. And that's it for now, I think.
Okay. I'll be at all the cons. Most of the cons that Tom and the gang are there. Well, I'll be there.
Yep. Someone asked if we've seen any good movies lately. I have seen Infinity War twice. I will not spoil anything.
I haven't seen it.
I won't spoil it. I will say this is not a spoiler in any way, shape, or form. Once I saw it the first time, because I didn't see it until like a week or so after it released, and a bunch of my friends had posted like GIF reactions to seeing the movie. And after I saw it, I was like, oh, now I understand all those GIF reactions.
You get it right.
So yeah, and now I've seen it a second time. I just saw it a couple of days ago for the second time, and yeah, it's real good.
I'm excited. My mom has been saying, let's go watch it. She calls me. She's like, well, I want to go see it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. My mom is also someone who likes Deadpool. And it's funny when you meet my mom, she's like the most innocent, person ever. So I don't even get the jokes. Yeah, So that'll be what I'm seeing this weekend is the Avengers.
That's awesome. So someone in the chat said this is the first that they've heard of all three of us. So
Yay!
welcome. I guess we could be a little more specific about who we are and what we do, because we just assume people know who we are, and that's silly of us. So Mandi, why don't you talk a little bit about your part of the Dice Tower and then what you do on your other channel as well?
Sure. So most people know me from the Dice Tower. I used to do a little segment on Board Game Breakfast, the lunchtime games.
It's lunchtime.
I still get that from time to time with Stefan and Tracy. And now I do the podcast every second week with Suzanne Sheldon. We'll be doing a bit more video when we go to the cons and whatnot, but that's to come. Actually, next week, you'll see some of the things that we're putting out for that. And then I have my own channel, To Die For Games, that I still post video reviews on. And that I have a whole team. I have a team of bloggers, so they actually do the written stuff. And then I have another team that helps with video. And then I also do videos. And then I see there's some people in the chat, like Annette, Netters Plays, who joins me on our inclusive game chat that we try and do once a month. Crystal, you've been on, I believe. So we try and tackle different types of topics, topics that are not necessarily gaming, but relate to gaming. And so I like to stay busy because I have a day job too. I know someone asked about that. So I'm a facilitator with the federal government, but basically I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher for the federal government.
That's cool.
Oh, cool.
So Ambie and I are the two hosts of one of the podcasts on the Dice Tower Network called Board Game Blitz. And we also have a YouTube channel, and we put out some video content. We're actually doing more video content soon. Ambie and I are both kind of in freak out mode because the 2-year anniversary of our podcast is next week. And we are putting out some really cool videos in conjunction with that are secrets and surprises, and we're not done with them yet. And oh God. And my day job, I am a marketing copywriter. So I was an English major in college, and I'm one of the rare ones that's using her degree. It's hard to find us in the wild sometimes. So Ambie, do you want to talk about your other YouTube channel and then what you do for work?
Yeah, so in addition to the Board Game Blitz YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel, Ambie Rona, which is my screen name. But I do board game song parodies. I started out only doing them to Disney songs, but I branched out after I started running out of Disney songs. So I update that once in a while.
Really awesome.
I used to do it every 2 weeks, make a new song, but then Board Game Blitz started, and I started getting more busy and ran out of ideas. So I now update it only when I get a new idea.
One of these days, we're gonna dive into the 80s real hard, because I know that's more my wheelhouse than yours. But 80s music and we have a thing.
And then for my day job, I don't use my degree either. I used to, but then I switched because I was a chemical engineer, and then there weren't really any jobs in the Bay Area or not close to where I wanted to live. So I now work as I'm in analytics at Salesforce, but data analyst, business analyst type thing.
That's very cool.
It's hard for people to use their degrees. I mean, I'm lucky that I get to use my degree, but you're right. Not a lot of people get that. So
at least I started out using it.
Yeah, exactly.
My first job was.
Sorry, I'm scrolling through the chat to try and see any other. Netters, who is a friend of all of ours and is the best, asked what our favorite new game we played this year is.
Oh, wow.
So I guess I can go first because I know
I can think about that.
Mine is easy for me. It is Castell, hands down.
Wow.
Okay. So good. And I was really lucky that Aaron Vanderbeek, the designer, taught it to me at BlitzCon. And it was funny because when I sat down, I was like, oh no, this looks Euro-y. Oh no, what if I don't like it? And I was worried, but it is brilliant. And I can't quite explain why it scratches the right part of my gaming brain, but it's very Euro style. But the theme is interesting, and it's integrated into the mechanics so seamlessly that I just can't get enough of it. I will literally play that anytime. I love it so much. So yeah, Castell is my pick. Also by Renegade, who we mentioned earlier.
Yes. Yeah. It's a good one. I played it. We talked about it on the podcast. Both Suzanne and I really enjoyed it. So it's a good choice. Yeah. Ambie, are you ready or do you want me to go?
Well, mine actually overlaps with another question someone asked, so I can go last.
Oh, okay. I love that. I can go last. Okay, so I would have to say, and I'm actually kind of glad Robert brought it up, but I really did enjoy Rajas of the Ganges. And actually, Robert is who I played it with, I think, when we were doing the when did we play that? Oh, we played it when we were doing the streaming, the live streaming. We had some time to try that out. The art is something to be desired, but that's for another discussion. But I actually enjoyed the gameplay. I liked it because I'm always worried when it's dice and, you know, worker placement. I'm like, okay, am I gonna have a lot of decisions to make here? It's not overly heavy, and it has that racing element, which I'm not always a fan of, but it worked for me here. I really liked it. And honestly, the board looks crazy busy and oh my goodness. But once you get it, you get it. And then you just try out your strategy and then you play it again and try out a different strategy. I really enjoyed it. And it's definitely one I think people should try if they haven't.
Very cool.
Yeah, so someone else also asked, what's your go-to game right now? And that is the same as my favorite new game this year, which is The Mind. Yeah, so I've played it 30 times now. I don't have the game. I've been playing it with, okay, this is going to be a weird sentence, but I don't have The Mind. I've been playing it with the game cards.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Rewind. Seriously, say it again. Okay.
I don't have the game The Mind yet.
Okay.
But I've been playing it with cards from the game.
Okay.
The game.
I got it.
So it's just the game has 2 to 99, so it just doesn't have the 1 in 100. So it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
But yes,
Have you
been playing it a
won?
lot. Oh yeah.
Oh, nicely done. Not me.
Yeah,
Actually,
me either.
So I've won 2 players with Toby. In Japan,
Wow.
we played it a bit in one. And then we hadn't won otherwise. But last Friday, after playing 1889 with our 18XX group, we played The Mind. And the first game, we got to round 8, which is the last round. And then the second game, we won. And so I think it's like, since we play 18XX with them, which has a lot of like mind games and like, oh, what is that player going to do? We probably know more how the players play and think. So we're able to sync with them quicker, I think.
Interesting.
That's so good.
Okay.
Oh, wait, can I jump in really quick? And I totally didn't even think about it. Okay, so the game Drop It.
Oh, I've been
it?
wanting to play that so
Wanna try that?
much.
So fun. Can I tell you? I was like, oh, here we go. Another like, party game, whatever, not my thing. I've been bringing it to work. I brought it to a party. Everyone's like, I gotta buy this game. It's so fun. Now, it's for someone who's colorblind, it's going to be a nightmare. I mean, they need to fix that. But the game itself, so fun. I really, really enjoyed it. So if you haven't tried it, it's fairly straightforward and simple. But I got to tell you, so much fun.
So is it available widely here in the States? I haven't seen much of it, but I also could have just missed it. You're in Canada, so you're the wrong person to ask about availability in the States.
Well, no, if we have it in Canada, because we get everything last, you should have it in the States. So apparently Drop It is by Cosmos Games. Okay. I believe a coworker said he was able to order it from an online store, so it should be available in the States.
Someone in the chat just said Drop It is $21 on Cool Stuff. So
there you go. What? $21?
Man,
wow, games are so cheap for you guys. Seriously, we pay like double.
I believe it. Yeah, you guys, it's a crime. That's what it is.
It's a crime. Plus tax.
Plus tax. Crime plus tax. That's how much games cost in Canada. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm trying to look to see if we have any other. Someone asked if we have cats. I do not have cats, although
I think someone asked about dogs too. So.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yes, I think we have similar breed. No, I have 2 dogs. I have an Affin Pinscher. So it's an Affin Pinscher mixed with a Shih Tzu. Sorry, it's an Affin Chew. He looks like an Ewok actually. And then I have a little Maltese.
Oh, and I have a Maltese too.
You do?
He won't. Yes, I do. I wonder if I could. I don't know how close any of my dogs are right now.
Maybe. I know. I know. I love people in the chat. Show dogs. Let me see if they'll come. Mellow.
I don't have any pets, but I have
hold down the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
I know. My dogs were like scratching at the door to get in the entire time, and now that I'm calling them, they're like, "Yeah, no, we're not going to show up." I'm like,
it's
wow,
too late.
You are so awful. I know. Just when they have the opportunity to be on the show. But yes, one of them literally, I dressed him up with a little like scarf and he looked like an Ewok. It was hilarious.
That's so cool. I want an Ewok.
I love how I've now started this whole shipping conversation in the chat. Because it's a thing. Like shipping in Canada is expensive unless you buy a lot of games, but it's crazy. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I think she has oh, it's giving her kisses.
Oh.
Sorry, I love dogs. Not that oh, here's one. Hi, puppy. He's really dirty.
Hey, Crystal, I think your mic is muted.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, and there's number 2.
And now I'm unmuted.
There.
I've got both. He's down my shirt. Hold on, this is the Ewok over here.
Let's see here. Hold
Oh,
on.
it does look like an Ewok.
Here we go. Hold on.
Oh my
I
God.
messed with upstairs, and there's my Maltese over there.
Aww.
Can you see? There he is. There's my Maltese. Yeah, Maybe likes to jump up on my lap when I'm on the computer, although she was downstairs. But she's a poodle mix, and we got her from the SPCA here in Vegas, and she's kind of dirty right now. She needs a
mine
bath.
are too. Mine are so dirty. Mellow's like super stinky.
She likes to give kisses if you can't tell.
Aw, so cute.
I have a Bichon as well. She's downstairs too. I have 3. So.
Oh, you have 3? Oh wow, I had 3 up until recently. So yeah, I get it. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, down we go. They've had enough.
All right. Well, let's see. Are there any? It doesn't look like. It looks like the questions in the chat might be slowing down.
They're talking about pets now.
Yeah. So it's ladies and dogs tonight on the Dice Tower.
I know, right?
I like it. All right, so I guess we can go ahead and wrap things up. Oh, maybe he's going to jump off my lap here. Let's just.
Nope. It goes. I know. I had to do the same thing. They get caught in the.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Someone asked favorite solo game.
Well, I have an answer to that, and I didn't have an answer to that a month ago, but now I do, and that would be Legacy of Dragonhold.
Nice. Okay. I haven't played it yet, but I know Suzanne raves about it.
It's real good.
I want to try sometime.
Yeah, me
I don't know
too.
if I would play it not solo, though. And that's not to say it would be bad like that, but I loved it so much solo that I think that that's the only way I'd ever want to play it.
Because it's so much reading. Right?
That's a lot of
Right.
reading.
Yeah. I'm not a solo game player. I generally don't. However, one of my all-time favorite games, I can't give away too much because I still have to do my top 100. I digress. But Caverna is one that I've played solo and I enjoy it.
Very cool. What about you, Ambie? Did you say something?
I don't really play solo either, so I don't think I have one. Yeah, I don't do solo games.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
so don't worry, I'm right there with you. I don't generally play them solo. Yeah.
well, we are right at about an hour. I know sometimes we have 3 hosts, we go an hour and a half, but I think we can probably wrap this up. Thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us tonight, especially considering it's a little different than usual, but hopefully you all enjoyed it. And thank you, a huge, huge, huge thank you to Ambie and Mandi who stepped in to host with me. I was going to do a solo Q&A otherwise, and we don't know how interesting that would have been. So things should be mostly back to normal for the next episode, which will be in 2 weeks. But until then, I'm Crystal Pisano.
I'm Mandy Hutchinson.
And I'm Ambie Valdez.
And you've been watching The Dice Tower. Thank you for watching. Promotional consideration has been provided by publishers in the form of review copies of games. Some combination of Eric, Tom, and I will be back in 2 weeks for another installment. Our show is supported by viewers like you. Thank you for your support. Dice Tower Tonight is produced by Tom, Eric, and me with assistance from Derek Porter and Rob Searing. A network of secret, dangerous optometrists' offices brought to you by Forbidden Eye Land. Timothy Pinkham composed the Dice Tower theme and hosting is provided by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games at great prices at coolstuffinc.com. Give us your feedback on the Dice Tower Guild on Board Game Geek or on Facebook or Twitter. And don't forget to check out the other shows in the Dice Tower Network. For instance, you can hear Mandy on the Dice Tower podcast and Ambie and I on Board Game Blitz. Until next time, from all of us at the Dice Tower, have
fun
gaming.
gaming.
Thanks, everyone.